Chat. One day closer to college football, and we are bringing back the heat. Today's video, we're going over the top receivers for this upcoming season. But you know how we're going to start this video. Pat McAfee, let's see what you got for us. All right, Chad. If that does not get you excited for the college football season, I don't know what does. But let's jump right into it, right into it. At number, we're gonna go a little bit out of order, right? I've seen all these other ones. They're talking about 10-1, 1-5, 5-1. But hey, Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith, and what he is bringing to the table for Ohio State this year. This man is going to be aggressive. This man is going to be the best human in college football. Not only is he going to be the best receiver, he is going to be the best player for the college football in this upcoming season. Like, just look at what he is bringing to the table this season, right? Jeremiah Smith, just power, just excellence. Imagine you're a DB and you see this and you have to line up against that. I am not ready for that. I do not want to line up against him in week 6 when he is on an absolute tear, right? As you know, wide receiver Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith, he has as a career, he's got 2,558 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 163 catches. He is on pace to break the 3 major records for Ohio State being wide receiver U by week 4 or 5. He is 340 yards away from breaking the passing yards held by Michael Jenkins. He is 8 touchdowns away from beating Chris Olave in his 35 touchdown season. He is on pace to be Emeka Egbuka, who has 205 catches. Jeremiah Smith is only 42 catches away. This man is on an absolute tear. Paired with Julian Sayin, who is one of the best quarterbacks right now. Julian Sayin finished last year with a 77% completion percentage and 3,600 yards. So I think Jeremiah Smith is not only going to be the top receiver, he is going to be one of the best players in college football in this upcoming season. I'm excited. I cannot wait to see what he brings to the table. I cannot wait to see how Arthur Smith cooks up for this offense last year, right? As you know, toward the tail end of the season, they struggle with play calling in the playoffs. But hey, we have an NFL-minded quarterback, right? Who coached Derrick Henry. He was under Mike Tomlin and Mike Vrabel, so he knows what winning looks like. He knows what winning football looks like. Let's look at some of the top plays from Jeremiah Smith. At number 4 and number 3, we're against this Michigan team, and I love to see us perform against Michigan, right? One-handed grab on the sideline. These are just highlighting some of Jeremiah Smith's best abilities, right? To be on this list, you can not only catch, but you have to be able to run routes. Look at these spectacular catches. But at number 1, you see the speed that Jeremiah Smith has, the ability to make people miss and really break open in that open field. And this is what I'm looking forward to the most for Jeremiah Smith this season. It's not the catches that are where he's wide open. I'm looking to see the creativity of Arthur Smith. I'm looking to see what he can bring, what kind of packages he can put with Jeremiah Smith to scheme him open. Is it going to be short, simple cross routes? Is it going to be him deep or a lot of run pass options? And then the next receiver I'm looking for is Malachi Toney, right? Malachi Toney last year, he had Carson Beck at his quarterback. Carson Beck, known for not taking deep shots, right? I believe he was the lowest performing quarterback when throwing over 20 plus yards. Hey, he's got a new quarterback in Darian Mensah, who last season he threw for 34 touchdowns and nearly 4,000 yards, right? With Carson Beck at quarterback, Malachi Toney had 109 catches, which was first. He had 10 touchdowns, 1,200 yards in fifth, and 11 yards per catch at 150. I'm expecting Malachi Toney's production to double or triple this season with Darian Mensah now at quarterback, right? And then how Miami used Malachi Toney last season was a lot of behind the line of scrimmage passes, right? They used him in screenplays. They use him in jet sweeps, right? I'm looking for Darian Mensah to start making deep shots into the opponent's backfield. I'm looking for him to put pressure on those safeties, right? As you see, when he was with Carson Beck, a lot of behind the line of scrimmage passes, a lot of screen passes to show off Malachi Tony's speed, right? Malachi Tony is a deep threat. He is a deep threat, and Darian Mensah is going to unlock a whole new ability out of Malachi Tony and his ability to make plays, right? Another pass behind the line of scrimmage where he just shows off his pure speed and his ability to make people miss, right? That that's great and all, but what are you gonna do when it's a 3rd and 7 and you have to take a deep shot, or it's a 1st and 6 and you have the opportunity to keep the defense on their toes? That's what I'm looking for out of Darian Mensah this year. It's his ability to kind of unlock this Malachi Tony in that Miami office and really put pressure on him, right? As you know, Mario Cristobal, the coach of Miami, what he did was he said, hey, I'm good. I've been paid enough money. He took all of his money that he was going to make coaching. He said, put that in NIL deals, right? He wants to pay these players. He wants to win a national title. They'll have to get through Ohio State, but let's see if Malachi Tony and Darian Mensah can get them over that hump, right? Will they be able to hoist up that national title trophy next year, right? Next person we're going to get into is Charlie Becker. Charlie Becker is cold, man. And he did not have an outstanding numbers season, right? He had 34 catches, which was 150th. He had 4 touchdowns, 679 yards. But what stat stood out to me was the 20 yards per catch. And I first saw Charlie Becker in that Big Ten championship game last year against Ohio State. That man was picking us a part in that Ohio State game. Charlie Becker really showed a different type of speed and a different type of ability to get open. In that Big Ten title game, he had 6 catches, 126 yards, and 21 yards per catch. I'm going to pull up some of the highlights from that game just so you can see what this man was doing to this Ohio State defense, right? This was one of the best defenses in the league as well, right? You had Matt Patricia. We were the #1 ranked defense. And I mean, Charlie Becker was just slicing through us like butter. Every time I blinked, this man was wide open. It seems like we could never stop this man from being open and catching the ball. It was absolutely insane what this man was doing to us against Ohio State. And I feel like this is going to be his breakout year this year, right? Yes, he was productive at the end of last season, but he didn't even have a full season of tape. And this is the Charlie Becker that we're bringing to the table. Yes, there's a lot of question marks around the quarterback at Indiana right now. Yes, we know the quarterback that is at Indiana has the most yards in college football right now and the most games played, right? But he wasn't a Fernando Mendoza. He wasn't a product of that systematic offense. So I'm expecting to see some production out of Charlie Becker. And can he truly be unlocked like a Malachi Tony or like a Jeremiah Smith can? And is he going to put pressure on the defenses like those two receivers are? Next up, we got Ryan Wingo and Cam Coleman. I'm going to lump them together. Ryan Wingo last year, 54 catches, 834 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 15 yards per catch. Ryan Wingo is an absolute demon. Paired with Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman coming out of, I believe, Auburn. At Auburn, he Cam Coleman had 56 catches, 708 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 12 yards per catch. Mind you, this is all done on an underperforming Auburn team. Cam Coleman was basically the only offensive weapon that they had. With Cam Coleman lining up against Ryan Wingo, that is going to be an absolute problem. If Arch Manning can get the ball to these receivers, I am nervous for that week 2 matchup against Ohio State and Texas. Right, this is a favorable 2-man game. Cam Coleman was he doubled every receiver in yards per catch and had half of the team's touchdowns at Auburn. Right, Auburn only averaged 111 passing yards per game. That's absolutely insane. And Cam Coleman had almost all of them. Auburn was second last in SEC for passing yards, and Cam Coleman still got the job done. This is going to be scary if Steve Sarkisian can figure out how to partner Ryan Wingo and Cam Coleman together, right? Let's look at some of the pairings that is going to look like with Ryan Wingo on the field, right? We're going to start with the first play of the game last year when Texas was playing, and Ryan Wingo just goes for a 75-yard touchdown. The first play of the game, shows off his speed behind the line of scrimmage pass, and he just takes off in this Vanderbilt game. Bye bye, nobody can see me. Ryan Wingo showing some absolute speed, right? And like I said earlier, speed is not the only aspect of the game that makes a receiver great. It's his ability to route run, its ability to get open in certain situations, right? And we're able to kind of see everything that Ryan Wingo has to offer with Cam Coleman lining up across from him. In this clip here, you can see Ryan Wingo run a stellar route, and then his ability to get open is absolutely unparalleled, right? So he hits him with a simple jab step, and cornerback was guessing, right? As soon as he hits him with that jab step and you got that cornerback guessing, he was off to the races, right? Runs right past the cornerback. I don't know what the cornerback was thinking, but he was like, "Oh, I can keep up. I can keep up with Ryan Wingo." Absolutely, right? Wrong. He runs right past him. And then you have the catching ability of Cam Coleman paired with that. It is going to be absolutely crazy what this Texas offense can cook up this season. Look at this. Look at this catch that Cam Coleman had last year, right to the corner of the end zone. Boom, one-handed, opposite hand, with the cornerback draped all over you, and still able to catch the ball. This is this is what Ohio State is going to be defending. I don't know about this one, Chad. I don't know about it. Ohio State still some way is gonna find some way somehow to win the game. This makes me a little nervous. This makes me a little nervous having Ryan Wingo and Cam Coleman lined up against each other, and we got some honorable mentions here, right? Those are gonna be the top end with Malachi Tony, Jeremiah Smith, Charlie Becker, Ryan Wingo, and Cam Coleman, right? I expect those to be at the peak of the wide receiver category. But just as some honorable mentions, you got KJ Duff right out of Rutgers. He's got 60 catches. That is 63rd. He had over 1,000 yards, which puts him at 10th. Nearly 20 yards per catch and 7 touchdowns. And what really turned my game on to KJ Duff was the game against Purdue last year. 6 catches, nearly 251 yards, and he might have had the catch of the year last year, right? He had an absolutely insane catch. You saw that catch, that some of the catches that these players were making in some of the videos before, right? But look at this catch that he was able to make against a team. A clutch catch too, by the way. Like, let me pull it up here. 3rd and 13, passes that ball, and I mean, he just absolutely extends past that DB to get it. It was an absolutely crazy catch. Look at this, with the extension, arm going every which way, defender draped all over him, and is able to bring the ball in, no questions asked. Another honorable mention, you got Wyatt Young out of Oklahoma State. He has 70 catches, 23rd, 1,200 yards, which puts him at 3rd, 10 touchdowns and 18 yards per catch. This Oklahoma State team is going to be a sleeper, right? They had 4 players transfer from North Texas. One, they had the receiver. They had Drew Mestermaker, who was one of the highest ranked quarterbacks in the transfer portal. He had over 4,000 yards. He had 4,379, a 74 QBR, and 34 touchdowns, which put him second. So that combo is going to be absolutely deadly. I want to see what they do against a top ranked team, right? Yes, you did that at North Texas, but can you get that done in the SEC, in an SEC game? Can you get that done in a Big Ten game where you're facing the top end of opponents? And some other people that you want to keep your eye on. Hey, Ryan Williams coming out of Alabama. Don't sleep on him. He had an excellent rookie year. Yes, he fell off last year with missing about 33. I'm sorry, dropping 33% of his passes. But hey, he's reinvented himself. He's reached into the toolbox. He said, "Hey, Don't forget about me. I'm still that guy. I was still the number one ranked receiver coming out of that class. And lastly but not least, you got Deuce Robinson out of Florida State. This man is an absolute giant. 6'6", 222 pounds, and he more than doubled his production year over year. That first year he had last year, he had 33 more catches and 685 more yards than he had the previous year. He would end the year 56 catches, 6 touchdowns, 1,081 yards, and 19 yards per catch. So keep your eye on every single one of these receivers coming out of college football this year, because I'm expecting a monster year, a monster offensive production year out of multiple teams, right? You got Ohio State. I hadn't even touched on Oregon yet. I hadn't even touched on some of these other teams who, even though they don't have a top end receiver, they still have a great offensive system, a great quarterback, and things that can happen for that team. I'm so excited for this upcoming college season. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one. I think the next video we're going to kind of record is going to be the top 10 quarterbacks. You got Julian Sand, Dante Moore, you got Sam Levitt. You have all these quarterbacks who have so much to prove to show that why they should be the number one draft pick. So stay tuned. Wait till the college football season starts. Until the next one.